Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the ninth ever episode of the Illuminutty podcast. I'm going to start today off with my usual recruiting news. I'm really excited because two guys from my hometown in Chillicothe are getting looks from Ohio State. That would be running back athlete Cote Lagon, who pretty much plays every position on his team, it seems like. Running back, wide receiver, defensive back, and even gets snaps at Wildcat quarterback at times. This guy is speedy, um, out in space and can make things happen with the ball in his hands. I'm really excited about him. He's 6'1", uh, 190, 195, and I really like what he brings to the table. I love offensive guys that play multiple positions and do everything for their team. Another guy that's getting a look from Chillicothe is his teammate, offensive tackle Connor Rutherford, and he's 6'6", 300 pounds, and he can really move for his size. He's got good feet and gets great push up front. I think he could play tackle or guard. I really like the way he carries his weight, and I like what we're seeing with the trench players in Ohio right now. A lot of underrated guys are starting to get looks, and I think Connor's going to be a good one to keep an eye on. Uh, Cote is class of 2028, and Connor is class of 27. I don't know what position Cote is going to play at the next level, but like I said, those type of guys are dangerous with the balls in their hands, so just give it to him and let him make a play. I think he's going to be one of those fast rising guys. I know the competition level at Chillicothe isn't the greatest, but when you're dominant like that, it sticks out. A recent offer guy that we've talked about before, both on the Ohio podcast and on this channel, is defensive end edge guy Munir Lewis from Brush High School. He's 6'5", 245, and he's another small school kid that just recently got an offer yesterday. And if you watch his tape, he's extremely physically dominant and explosive. And when you're looking at a small school kids, that's what you want to see. And Larry Johnson was very impressed with him on his visit yesterday, enough to offer, so that's always promising. And Brush High School is the uh, alma mater of Roy Hall Jr., for, former Ohio State wide receiver. So there's that. It's not like we've never gotten a player out of there before, so I just wanted to touch on some of those guys for you. I was busy fangirling this morning still about guys from my hometown getting a look from Ohio State that doesn't normally happen. Now, I didn't go to Chillicothe High School, but like I said, I grew up in Chillicothe, so when stuff like that goes down, it's major for me. I have to give them their shine and celebrate a little bit because I get excited. On to another topic for the video. Ohio State is making a move on voting in the next president. It's gonna be vice president, and Podfather help me with the name because
Oh,
I'll I'm
oh, I will
I'll
do. I will do my best.
I butcher it every time I say it.
Ravi is how he pronounces his first name. Ravi is the spelling. Ravi, and it's Bella Mkanda. Bella Mkanda.
Okay.
But President Rav is what everybody's calling him.
Okay. I'll just go with that.
Yeah.
It's simply. But um I like the move. It's quickly done. It makes me wonder how long the things with Carter were known. If they're making a move that fast, I think it does help keep continuity and familiarity there. So I like the move. I'm just surprised we're moving this fast, and I'm kind of surprised we didn't look more elsewhere. But I'm sure he'll do a good job. And like I said, I think it keeps continuity, but it also makes me wonder how long was this brewing? And I always got to put my tinfoil hat on for you guys, and it's just made me curious about how much was known, what exactly was this a plan in place for a long time? Did they talk about this beforehand? Was Kodu aware that this was a possibility? I don't know, but what are your feelings on it, Podfather? It made me a little suspicious with the
Ye-
timeline,
Yes,
everything.
the timeline is definitely suspicious. Now, I've been reading up on this story with Ted Carter a lot. I've got a couple people not associated with the football program who are Ohio State people who I speak to as well, and it is it is their understanding that this relationship, improper relationship with this younger, this mature lady, and Ted Carter has was going on for a while,
Yeah,
and which hence the why does she have a office at the university, and we need to investigate this a little more from a university perspective for protection of data and information. But um, I believe, I don't have proof of this, but I believe Ted Carter was so respected by the board that when he basically kind of gave his, you know what, Ravi has done a great job as my vice president essentially. You will not go wrong with him. I think that held some weight still with that board. That's like one of the only things I can come up with in my mind is that he was doing such a good job as the vice president or whatever his title was that the board just kind of looked at it and go, he's perfect for the job already. And when Ted's like, yeah, dude, he's done a great job. His title was executive vice president. There you go. He's done a great job. You should consider him. Why why drag this thing on?
yeah, and that's my thoughts on it as well. Like, if you got a guy that you think can do the job, you might as well make a move now and not risk upsetting the boat and what you got already established. I'm sure he's got relationships and things going on already, and we can just keep the flow going. And that's,
Yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, Mika, I was day number one initial reaction was go get sweater vest. Let's go get Jim Tressel.
yeah,
Um,
I wanted
apparent
it too.
apparently one of the political parties on campus, I won't name which one, but one of the political parties on campus, student-led political parties, let their feelings be known that they wanted Jim Tressel as well. But apparently Jim Tressel came out that next day and was like, "I'm not interested. Please don't ask me," type of thing. Um,
The sweater vest bat signal didn't work.
I really, I was hoping. I was hoping.
I
I,
think I think everyone in Buckeye Nation was hoping. I know he was my number one candidate just from a sheer Buckeye pride standpoint. I love Tress
yeah,
so much. You gotta love the sweater vest.
yeah, he's amazing. I was watching. Actually, I was editing. Um, the game for Friday with EJ, the 2002 Ohio State and Cincinnati game, and he's on there. And uh, at halftime he gets interviewed, and we're not playing well at all. And just the confidence he oozed in that interview,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I would have been panicking, dude. Like, this is not good. The fan in me would be like, this is terrible. What is wrong with us? Why are we playing so bad? And the confidence is just that from him. What a great man. But hey, let's give Ravi an opportunity to show us his chops here. Maybe he does a great job. Obviously, as president, the way we look at it, it's all about making sure you support the athletic programs. I mean, that's the most important thing for us as fans. But beyond that, he has a very huge job as president in promoting the university, making sure that the students are supported, making sure that the finances of the university are well taken care of, including the university hospital, which is one of the best in the entire country, especially when it comes to cancer research and things of that nature. He has a very, very important job. Beyond just making sure Ryan Day's happy, but
The
um,
heart the heart center too. I gotta give a shout out for the heart center at Ohio State. They did save my dad, so I have to put that plug in there. I appreciate everything they did for my dad. So
there you
yeah,
go.
we're up front and center when it comes to medical stuff. So let's hope that continues, and that's something all Buckeye Nation can take pride in, whether you're a sports fan or not.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, tinfoil hat stuff. I think that this has been going on a long time. We'll see if if the story dies, or if it has some legs and continues on for a little while. The New York Post is the I guess media company right now who seems to be all over this story. They're posting articles left and right about it. So it'll be very interesting to find out if this relationship was ongoing for a long, long time. But either way, we'll find out what they find out from the investigation. Hopefully, it was no big deal. It wasn't you know icky or anything, but we're here to cover it.
Yep, and that's one thing about our channel and Buckeye Nation as a whole and podcast Sphere and Beyond. We own our mistakes and we clean house when things happen. So, unlike some other programs that will not be mentioned.
Oh, you can mention them, scum.
Well, I was gonna be nice today, but since you said it, that's who I was referring to, obviously. But we own our mistakes and we clean house and we don't need vacuums to do it. So, well, it's true, we
Home
don't.
Essentials LLC.
Yep. Shout out to our commercial guys if you hadn't seen it yet. Join Patreon. We got some good ones going. It's always a good time over there. But on to my main topic for the show. I wanted to talk about what Bruce Thornton did and why I think his record will stand for a very, very long time. He, he broke the career scoring record. He ended up with 21,110 points. His scoring average has gone up to 20.1 points a game from 15. He's really making a name for himself, and he's always a steady leader, and I wanted to make sure to give him his shine. And what really stands out to me with him was he was part of a class that basically lost pretty much everyone he came in with, not to mention the guys that left from the class before him. And he's a Georgia guy and a very high ranking basketball prospect coming out of high school. So he could have left and said, "I'm done," and went anywhere. I mean, I'm not entirely convinced he wouldn't have got a look at the NBA draft if he decided to choose that path. And for a guy to spend as much time and energy in our program, he deserves all the shine he gets. That was such a big moment for him, and I'm so glad he was able to get it, and I'm so glad that we're making the tournament and he can finish out his career hopefully the right way. It's been a long time coming, and I think he's a very special player, and it's something I don't think you will see broken in a very, very long time because you just don't see guys stick around that long and stay and persevere through the stuff that he went through, especially with losing a lot of guys that
Guys that
I know for a fact that he was close to and had relationships with um, that either went to the NBA or decided to pursue other programs. So I think he's a very special player. Now, whether he goes to the NBA and makes something happen there, I think he could. But either way, he's cemented himself as a legendary player at Ohio State, in my opinion, just for the sheer fact that he's stuck around and persevered through everything and got us through some really, really tough times at Ohio State. And hats off to the whole team for pulling together the way they've been doing. And um, I'll have to, I have to say, I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was second guessing what Deep Blue was doing and whether or not he's the solution long term. I don't know, but I like seeing players come together and performing for the program and for the coach. And I just wanted to make sure we give the basketball team their flowers because they we all know Ohio State's predominantly a football school, but basketball was my first love, so I had to give them a shout out and give them a props because I'm excited for what they're doing, especially Bruce. I'm so happy for him because, like I said, he could have went anywhere. He could have bolted for either the NBA or another program like Georgia, Tennessee, somewhere down south. I mean, he was the Gatorade Basketball Player of the Year in Georgia, so it's not like he was a slouch coming out of high school. He was a high ranked 4 star. He has the chops. He's always been very talented, and he's grown into a tremendous leader and a um, great example for a basketball program. So, yeah, I'm really happy for him and our program in general. What are your thoughts on what he did, Podfather? I'm just, like I've told you before, basketball was the sport that I fell in love with first, and it's always got a special place in my heart, even though I can't stand to watch NBA anymore because they don't play defense normally, but that's either here nor there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big NBA fan. And just like you, basketball was my first love as well. I grew up a gym rat. My dad was a basketball coach, so I grew up when I was a little kid in the gym with my dad and his older players, and with my older brother, and I was the if they needed one, I was the extra. So I
Yep.
grew up playing much older kids than myself. Unfortunately, I peaked way too early when it came to basketball. I was a freshman in high school. I was 5'11" in junior high, and I'm still 5'11" today. So I matured more quickly than my classmates, and I peaked way too way too early for basketball. After my freshman year, it went all downhill for me after that. But I was much better at baseball than I was basketball as an athlete. But basketball was my favorite sport. It was my love. I ended up coaching basketball for several years as an adult at a high school level. So I am very passionate about Ohio State basketball, maybe more so than I am Ohio State football. Uh,
And God,
no, passion's not the word. I'm critical. I am more critical of basketball than I am football.
and guys, if you don't believe him, check us out on the Game Watchers on Patreon. He gives Grumpy Cat a run for his money when we're
I do.
watching basketball games. It's really funny. You want to see Bogsy blow a gasket? You'll see it when we're watching basketball games. It's quite entertaining, actually.
I've gotten several technicals in my lifetime in coaching. Let's just put it to you that way.
Oh, I can only imagine.
um, yeah. Anyways, I have a lot of respect for Jake Diebler. Let's start there.
Yep.
Diebler comes from a basketball royalty family here in Ohio.
Well, absolutely.
His dad is one of the best high school basketball coaches I've ever had the privilege of meeting, speaking with, and watching work. That man got every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears out of his players when he was coaching up in Fremont and up in the Fremont area, and then at Upper Sandusky, and there when Jake and John were both in high school together. And that guy had an amazing system. Now, that is the DNA that Jake is coming from.
Yep.
Okay? I want to see Jake Diebler succeed in the worst possible way for two reasons. Number one, my respect for the Diebler family. Number two, I vouched for him to get the full-time job.
I
I
did
was
too.
I wanted him to be hired, even over May. And since May has gone to Michigan, boy, he's done a knockout drag out job. Now, I'm going to be honest with everybody here. And this isn't me whining or complaining, and I promise you I'll get to Bruce in just a minute, Mika. But this is the Illuminati, and we do wear tinfoil hats around here.
Yes, we do.
It is documented. You can look it up. Michigan's NIL in basketball is about twice as much as Ohio State's.
I was gonna bring that up. Yep, he's got a lot more to work with over there than Diebler does. And I
There
mean,
are there are 18 schools in the Big 10. Ohio State ranked I think 11th or 12th in NIL out of 18. That's unacceptable. You cannot expect Jake Diebler to produce top five teams each and every single year if you're not going to financially support him like a top five Big Ten team. Can't It's not going to happen. As good as a coach as he is, that's not going to happen. It is amazing to me that they were even able to maintain the fact, and you brought it up, that Bruce stuck with the team, that Johnny Mobley came back, right? That
yep,
that these guys came back and they were able to get a good recruit and Bynum. The nucleus is there.
yep,
And he was able to maintain the nucleus. Now they had some misses out of the transfer portal last year in his first year. It happens. That happens.
not
Um,
not everything's gonna transfer well from program to program.
no,
Some of the,
but in Michigan, 2 years in a row has struck gold in the transfer portal.
and I
That's
think it tends to stand out more in a more of an individualistic sport like basketball than it does in like football. Cause let's
right.
face it, basketball is a more individualist sport. Like one
One on
really good
one, yeah.
player or one really bad player can really make a difference on a basketball court. With football, you can kind of cover up weaknesses and stuff, and you got more players to work with, obviously, and things. So when a player is bad or a player is good, it tends to show up more on the basketball court. And to go back to Bruce, like I said, that's another point in his favor because basketball is so much more of an individualist sport. He could have easily said, you know, things aren't happening for me here. Things are not going the way I thought they were going to go. He could have went anywhere and made things happen, and he didn't. And I think it just speaks to the character of the young man. And I read an article where he was talking about his relationship with uh, Coach Diebler and just how he would spend hours just conversating with him over playing video games and stuff, whether it be as a recruiter, as a player, and you can tell those guys are close. And I think it means a lot to him to be able to do do this and have the team come together for Coach Diebler and stuff. And like you said, for basketball loyalty like the Dieblers, I think this means a lot for anyone who follows Ohio State basketball because obviously those sort of ties are important, and you want to see guys with those connections do well. I pushed for Diebler as well. You and I talked about it when it was going down, whether he was going to get the job permanently, and I told you he was my guy for the reasons you mentioned. Like, I want to see him succeed, and I want to see the players succeed. I love Bynum. I think he's a tremendous young talent who's only going to get better. Now, is he going to stay? I hope so. I think he I think he could grow and really turn it into something if he decides to stay and stick around. I mean, there's a lot of young talented guys that we're still bringing in, and it's a testament that we're doing so with the budget he has to work with, like you mentioned. And I just wanted to make sure to give these guys the flowers. And whether we go far in the tournament or not, I'm just proud of what we've done this season because there for a while it looked bad. I'm gonna be honest. And we all know if you followed basketball that it did look bad. I was not happy. I thought we were lacking in identity. And I think we sort of found one as the season went on. And Bruce has been a really huge part of that.
100%. Well said, Mika. Two things. Um, Back to the NIL before I speak on Bruce. Um, so some of the bigger donors at Ohio State have been reluctant to give more money than they have to NIL because they were waiting to see if Diebler and this team could take the next step. Now they have, and the reports are that the NIL for next year for Ohio State is going to be much more comparable to the top tier teams in the Big Ten in basketball. So that's the good news. Moving forward, big picture stuff. Um, Now about Bruce. All the accolades he has gotten from um, all the big name coaches in the Big Ten, right? Michigan State's coach talked about him. He spoke glowingly about Bruce. Matt Painter from Purdue, he spoke glowingly about Bruce, about how it would have been really easy for him to bail on Ohio State.
Yep.
You spoke about it. And the fact that he stuck it out and he stayed true to his commitment um, is why they hold him in such high esteem. Coaches who know, right? Coaches who are like, yes, Bruce is one of the best in the conference, and he could have left Ohio State, but he didn't. He stuck it out with the program, and so the fact that he gets this honor of being the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State when he could have left multiple times and didn't, and like you mentioned, his class was pretty much just. I think his class was gone by year number 2.
Yep.
He was the only one left. And he has become the face and the identity of what I'm calling the transition. That's kind of what I've labeled this, going from Chris Holtman to Jake Diebler. I've called it a transition of Ohio State basketball. No, I'm not going to talk bad about Chris Holtman as a man, but as a basketball coach, I couldn't stand him. He ran such a loose offense that it was obvious after the initial his that initial first year where they went to the NCAA tournament and he had players that he didn't recruit
It,
and those guys were gone, that uh his style of coaching, his style of play, it was not going to work in the Big 10. It might have worked in the Big East, but it was not going to work in the Big 10. And thankfully, uh, now we have this transition. We're transitioning back to what Ohio State basketball used to be a long time ago in the 90s. Bart and I have talked about this. Ohio State basketball in the 90s was every bit as popular as the football team. Almost. It was almost as popular as the football team. Ohio State fans were were just as excited, and in fact, I might say something controversial here. They might have been a little bit more excited about the basketball team than the football team in the 90s because John Cooper was the head coach of
yep,
the
I was
football
just
team.
gonna mention that.
And a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, we're good, but we're going to lose Michigan anyways. Like it was inevitable, right? And the
Yep,
basketball team gave you hope. Like we can win the Big Ten and we can go to the NCAA and we're going to do things. You had Jimmy Jackson. Um, Chris Jent, Skelton, Thunderberg. These just a few names off the top of my head from the 90s that I remember. From Gary Williams, the head coach who ended up going on to Maryland and winning a national championship with the Terps, from Gary Williams to Randy Ayers. And
which
although
stung. I'm
although
sh-
Randy Ayers didn't go well at the end there for Randy Ayers, Jake Diebler's the first Ohio-born guy, the first Buckeye to coach this basketball team since the mid 90s with Randy Ayers.
and as a Buckeye I fan and just as a fan of sports in general, that means something. That's a big piece of why I think this should matter to everyone. Like you don't get stories like that very often, and when you do, you got to make sure to, you know, take a step back and celebrate them because these sort of things don't happen every day. Like with Bruce and everything, like I want people to understand I don't think this is going to be broken in a for a very very long time because I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys stick around with one program for as long. That's nearly unheard of nowadays in the era of the transfer portal, and the one and done rule basically uh, killed college basketball anyway. Usually, if you're uber talented and stuff, you spend 1 year at a college program and then you're done. So I don't think this is going to be touched for a very very long time, and you might have a differing opinion, but that's my thoughts on it. What are yours?
It's going to be a long time,
It's
given that because you have to have someone who's going to play and play really well for all 4 years.
yeah, and I
So
just
like Bynum, right? If Bynum ends up staying all 4 years and ends up averaging like 18 points a game next year, 20 points a game his junior year, and 25 points his senior year. Okay, someone like that. But if he's that good, he's off to the NBA.
I mean I think the last really like kind of standout person to stay that long would probably be, I don't know, Aaron Kraft maybe.
Yeah, but Aaron Kraft wasn't a scorer. He was a
Yeah,
distributor of
but
the basketball. He's a great defender. He was a point guard, right? The fact that we had and if anybody's ever noticed, like Bynum doesn't always run the one. He sometimes will be your shooting guard. He'll run the two,
yeah,
because he is such a good scorer. But he's selfless. That's the thing. He's such a selfless player. Um, no, it's going to be really really difficult to see. I mean, really, the only chance you will have as Ohio State fans to see this record broken would be a sensational freshman who makes bank at NIL and they keep him here for all 4 years with just paying him millions of dollars.
and I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Now I might be wrong. I hope I am wrong because that means we get more good basketball in our future. But I just don't see it happening. Football is king at Ohio State, and I don't see that changing now. I do think we're gonna see some influx of NIL, like you said, from everything I've been reading and researching. That seems to be the plan. So there's gonna be more to work with, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, obviously, football is king, but I love when basketball gets love too. I can't help it. I'm like you, basketball will always have a special place in my heart. Now, it's not my favorite sport anymore, but there's always that nostalgic pull towards basketball for me, with it being the first sport that I really fell in love with and connected to. And I just wanted to make sure that Buckeye Nation is aware of how special things are for the program right now, and especially Bruce and Coach D Blue, and applaud them for what they've done. And hopefully we can go far in the tournament. And on that note, we'll be watching the basketball game over on our Patreon page. So if you're interested, come join us. I know I'll be there. Internet permitting, of course. You never know, because it's been rainy all day here, and that can be iffy. But if I can be over there, I will. Give pop by, see how you like it. It's a good time. We get crazy over there. Last night's after show was something else. See, Podfather can't even keep a straight face. It was quite the entertaining night.
I was a little
Um,
punch drunk last night, wasn't
I
I?
I was I was hyped up on sugar, so you got to see Mika, crazy Mika, come out for a little bit there, and I'm sure Bart can attest to my spunkiness last night. So yeah, come over there and join us. We always have a good time. We don't mean to offend anyone. We joke around and everything. It's cool, lax environment. You can say whatever you want. Just be cool with each other. No attacking, no personal attacks or anything like that. We have fun over there. Like I said, we make our own commercials even, which are hilarious. And um, check out our merch store. And if you want to support the channel, buy some Illuminati merch. That's how I get paid. And who doesn't want to get paid? Everyone. So please help me. Um, and check out Sean's channel, Buckeye Zone. He has a show with him and Nate and EJ Underwood, and they do great work over there. And TG's Spectrum podcast as well is killing it. She really knows her stuff. I don't think there's a sport out there that she can't talk about. She's very knowledgeable, and just help us grow our channels, guys. And if there's something you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments. I'm here to do whatever you guys want me to do. Check out our recruiting database over at the OHIO Podcast Patreon page as well. That thing gets updated on a daily basis. We're even starting to talk about 2029 kids, so we're ahead of the curve there. please give it a look. Like I said, a lot of work goes into it and it gets updated almost constantly. I'm constantly watching film, talking with Vader about stuff, keeping an eye on prospects. So it's always growing and it's a living, breathing document at this point. It's got a life of its own, I think. It's my it's my brainchild, a collective brainchild. So if you go over there and you like it, please tell us about it and share Patreon with people, help us grow our community and help me grow this channel, please. Thank you for listening. It means a lot. And thank you, Podfather, for joining me and being patient with my weather situation and the ever changing schedule that is a result of that. I know you're busy and it means a lot that you make time to help me with this.
Well, you're welcome, Mika. I wouldn't do it for a lot of people, but I'll do it for you. You mean the world to me. And Mika's telling you the honest truth, everybody. Our database, recruiting database, I'm very proud of it. When I had the idea to create it, we kind of put our heads together, Mika, myself, and Vader, and I wanted to put it in a spreadsheet type of form that was easily accessible with links and everything. And it continues to grow. We added a column not too long ago for visit dates. We added a new column when kids are going to be making announcements on when they're going to commit. And then, like Mika said, she's adding to it. I got a text from Mika at 8 something or 7 something this morning, wasn't it? 8:07. There it is. 8:07 from Mika. And she said, "Hey, update this on the database." So it is a brainchild. I think that's one good way to put it. It is a brainchild. Yes.
Yep, it's a collective effort. Me, Vader, Podfather, we all chip in. And like I said, if there's information out there, we do our best to find it for you. So please check it out. Join us over on Patreon. Buy our merch. Help us get paid. All that good stuff. And like I said, if there's anything at all you want me to cover, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. If it's something I can't do, I can't imagine what that would be. But if there's something I can't do, I will be honest with you up front and just tell you I'm not gonna do that, or but I will give it my best shot for you guys, no matter what it is. So, like I said, thank you for listening, and thank you for and thank you for joining me, Podfather, and as always, OH,
IO.
go Bucks, and Scum still sucks.
Have a great day, everybody.